All right, week 3, Friday Night Insights. Here we are. Let's open with an explanation of that P.
This is the Scarlet P. I forgot Princeville last week in the Pick'em rankings. I'd just like to apologize. A little my bad, Princeville. For those of you that are going to cancel your subscriptions, please don't. Wes has a small son to feed.
We love Princeville.
He eats a lot.
I always take the big ads in the tab. I love that town. Okay, we open with our surprises. We know that. What we saw last week that maybe wasn't expected, and we open with Wes on that department.
I like a lot what I saw out of Morton. They went and faced a Dunlap team that I thought could challenge for the Mid-Illini title, and beat them by 3 touchdowns. I was really surprised. I picked Morton 7th in the Mid-Illini this year for some reason, and they went into Dunlap, or they hosted Dunlap, and won that game. A huge win. They were physical up front. They mixed up the pass and the run well. First week they passed well. Second week they ran well. Trevor Lannon seems like he has that team a lot of confidence, balance. You really don't know where they're coming from.
It's kind of an annual exercise to figure who is the big challenger.
Yeah.
In the Mid-Illini, because Metamora is gonna.
Although it should be
win
pointed out, it
Mid-Illini.
usually is Morton.
That's the thing, and I thought maybe they lost their skill guys. I thought this is the year maybe they're going to drop down a little bit, but it hasn't been. Seth Ingold, or was our PJ Star Athlete of the Week. He has like 16 catches so far.
Yeah, very good athlete.
Doug Rossi was a backup quarterback who I really didn't think much of, but he's running that option very, very well so far this year.
And you're surprised, Mr. Van.
The Havana Ducks.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. They are 2-0 for the first time since 2001. Every year since then, they have started the year 0-2. So this is monumental down there in Fulton County. There's that. I don't even know what county that. I'm sorry.
Fulton County. So you're the one who screwed up the Woodruff County.
Totally.
County grudge match.
I copied that last week, but
Aren't they playing another surprise this week? Don't ask questions of the witness that he might not get. That'll be in the paper. We got a different small school game of the week, but we're starting with big school game of the week. Wes, what is it?
Morton Pekin. I'm back
Morton.
to it. Because Pekin surprised a little bit last week, I think, going into Limestone and getting a win. Because I obviously picked Limestone, and you'll find out later that I'm out of the locks because of that. But I think Morton Pekin, this is a big game of sort of maybe just who's for real, I guess. It's deciding, like, you got Morton, you got Pekin. You got Morton beats Dunlap, Pekin beats Limestone. It's like, which of these two teams is really the surprise team in the Mid-Illini?
I got to believe that's Morton. That's for real.
I think so too. I mean, I'm going to pick Morton, and I like them in that.
Limestone's kind of shown itself these first 2 weeks, maybe not to be quite
defensively.
Yeah,
they've allowed 800 plus yards in 2 games, and that's not gonna do it.
Recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Okay, your game of the week.
I am headed to beautiful Stark County, to Toulon to watch United take on Stark County.
Home of our the late great Dr. Bernie Cahill.
Indeed, the very same.
I love games up there. I've done youth football, JFL up there.
It's a great place.
United and Stark feels like it ought to happen about week 8, but it's right upon us. Huh?
Yeah, that's there's some. I think there's 3 or 4 games pitting 2-0 teams among small school. So there's some good games right out of the box.
Yeah, Havana's one of them. But,
ouch! Ouch!
I think Pleasant Plains, maybe.
Yeah, it is Pleasant Plains.
Okay.
It came to me after I drew the blank.
The small school guy doesn't know, and the sports editor does.
Well, I'm
Nice job,
just guessing.
I'll just go make the I'll go make the Scarlet H now. All right, I'll be back.
All right, United Stark. Give me a pick in United Stark.
I'm gonna go with United. I sense a little upset there, so we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna say Stark, and I don't even pick.
Yeah, I don't even know either. It's Stark County because I like Scott Paxson.
Little hint of the girls' basketball days.
Yeah.
Now his kid is playing. That's the last of the Paxton. So
We're still in non-conference among Mid-State 6 teams. Manuel's up at a Galesburg team who we've seen play overtime against Dunlap and not get real close to overtime at Richwoods.
No. Yeah, I like Galesburg here. Manuel has some stuff to work out on offense. First week, they played well defensively for 2 weeks. So the Princeton game, even though they lost 21-0, there's just a couple broken plays here and there and a late score after an interception. So Manuel has some stuff to work out on offense. And,
How's Marvin Jordan's ankle?
He tweaked it a little bit. He left in the fourth quarter. Dan Fauser says that it might sort of be a blessing in disguise because the guy who worked all summer with the offense, Antonio Mabels, took over. He kind of liked what he saw from me. Maybe Marvin works in the slot or at running back, and maybe they can.
So
work
he doesn't QB in this game.
Maybe doesn't.
Appear.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
they're working some things out, and it might actually be a little boost for the offense that they certainly need.
I'm going streaks.
You're back on your streak.
Oh, I'm back on the streaks.
It's the last time you can pick them, you know. We're not going to pick them
Yeah,
week
exactly.
4.
We'll never see them again.
Central's at IVC. There can't be a lot of mystery there, can there? You go.
IVC's got some injury issues, actually. Chris Razzo tweaked an ankle on Friday night. He was laid up all weekend, and Colby Weller, their linebacker, one of their middle linebackers, might have injured an MCL last night. So
last night.
Yeah, in practice. So they've got some injury issues, but given what I saw last week against Notre Dame, they're kind of back where they've been the past couple of years. They're formidable as usual.
But they survived all sideline incidents, did the Ghosts?
All sideline incidents.
Okay, you got a pick there?
IVC, unless the injury involved the entire offensive line and the running backs, I think.
Actually, James Lauber tweaked a knee last week, too. I forgot about that. Speaking of running backs.
I think they're okay.
Jake Elias came through.
Okay, we have like a monorail running up to Sterling Rock Falls this year, and this week Woodruff boards it, and they play the Rock Falls Rock and whatever they Rockets.
I think you phrased it grooves on our budget.
Yeah,
the grooves in the road.
Peculiar amount of games up Knoxville Avenue, if you will. Is Woodruff going to go get that done?
I think so. Rock Falls offensively, they're pretty good. They run that sort of a spread offense, but when it comes to defensively, I don't think they're going to be able to slow down Woodruff. So I think Woodruff's going to win this one. I fired up Woodruff last week by saying it was going to be a close game against Streeter. So Woodruff by 12 touchdowns. No, actually, 3 touchdowns.
Jeez, I thought it was a hard game to pick.
I'm going to go with Woodruff, too.
All right, fine. Alleman.
Speaking of Rock Island.
Rock Island Alleman, that's a 1-1 team, I believe. Comes into Notre Dame.
That's Alleman all day.
A little closer than people think. Alleman's kind of had it down, so I like Alleman to win, but Notre Dame going to make it interesting.
Now we go to our Mid-Illini games. I'm intrigued, as you guys know, by one that I think is similar to Morton and Pekin that we talked about with a pair of 1-on-1s, and that's Limestone at EP.
Yeah.
Because these are 1-on-1s, and if either of these two are hopeful of being 5-4, they can't lose here. I mean, it's almost a playoff elimination game early.
Yeah.
Although I'm not asking those teams to quit. But what do you think?
Yeah, I like East Peoria in this game because East Peoria sort of put itself behind the 8 ball a little bit by losing to Woodruff in week 1, and so now they're sort of painted into a corner, having to win this game, week 9 at Central, and then win a couple of games in the Mid-Illini maybe they didn't expect to have to win to make the playoffs. Games against like Morton and Dunlap and Pekin, and games again to win two of those.
We talked about that
last week. Did you
last
start
week
by saying you picked East Peoria?
Yes.
You're picking?
I pick East Peoria.
I'm picking East Peoria.
Yeah.
So, like we said last week, these are the kind of games they have to win.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Canton at Washington.
Washington gets right this week. They were really physical last week. I mean, they lost to 35-0 at Metamora, but I was impressed with the physicality of the Washington defensive line. There were half a dozen 10 negative loss yardage for Metamora, which you usually don't see. And it just wore them down, but I think the defensive line is going to dictate the game, and Washington wins up this one.
I'm going to go with Washington as well.
Last game's Metamora at Dunlap. It was a championship Mid-Illini game in our minds a little while ago.
Yeah.
Now what? Can Dunlap hang?
I think this might just drive Dunlap a little further into a confidence spiral.
Yeah, they're gonna if they can get some defensive scores, Dunlap can make it interesting, but I don't think so. Metamora big.
Okay, we're picking Metamora this week. That's crazy. Lock of the week. Wes is out. You need one, I need one, and then we're gone.
I'm going with. Wow, that's a tough one. I'm probably gonna go with Woodruff.
Give me IVC. Remember the snap, all our coverage, everything, Friday paper, Saturday paper. Remember, all the picks are in the paper and on pjstar.com.
Even Princeville. We'll get them in this week.
And Princeville, and we'll see you in week 4. Thanks.